Hello friends, it's Lex at LexReads. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be wrapping up my January reads and talking through my reading plans for February. This month I read 3 books, which probably doesn't sound that impressive, but considering I only read like 15, 17 books, 17 I think books in 2021, that's really not too bad. I've been basically in like a year and a half long reading slump where it's been really, really difficult for me to read books that I like super enjoy. I've been having a really tough time breaking out of that space. So my goal for 2021, I know I haven't really talked about reading goals or anything. My goal for 2022 is to find some new stories that I really love and find my way back into a space where I am excited about reading. Because one problem with not loving all of the stuff that you're reading is that it gets kind of, like meh about reading in general, because I'm just kind of expecting to not love what I pick up. Alright, so first, let's talk through the books that I have read so far in 2022. The first book that I read this year was Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. This book I didn't enjoy as much as I wanted to, which just tends to be the vibe for the last year of my reading experience. This story is a Western set in the future following a group of women who are librarians. So basically, it's post-America as we know it today. And it looks more similar to the past. I think the important things to note is we are following a young woman who runs away from her home after her best friend, whom she is in love with, gets executed for having unapproved materials in her possession. So the government is kind of in charge of the dissemination of knowledge and information, and they do that through the librarians who go from city to city, town to town, and distribute approved reading materials. Our main character runs away to join the librarians in hopes that she can get past her, like, bad thoughts. She's queer, like her bad thoughts, because queerness is punishable. And what she finds is that the librarians are closer to the resistance than she believed. This is a novella. It's pretty short. It was a quick read. I actually read it for a video, which I will link down below. I did it for a try a chapter challenge, which I tend to do when I'm in reading slumps, just to try and get through something. And I was really excited about it after the first chapter, and then was promptly just kind of meh about the whole thing. I stand by what I said in that video, which is I wish they had leaned into anything more. They could have leaned in more to the librarianism. They could have leaned more into the budding romance. They could have leaned more into the assassination plot. They could have leaned more into just the resistance as a whole. They could have leaned in more into, like, world building. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough of anything for it to be what I really wanted. So 3 out of 5 stars. Not bad by any means. I definitely think there's an audience for this. I definitely understand why so many people enjoy it. It just was not 100% for me, and maybe I should have expected that, because I'm not a huge fan of historical fiction ever, like almost ever. It's just not my thing. It's not my shtick. And while this is set in the future, it reads like a Western, so Maybe should have expected that. That's probably my fault, actually. Alright, the second book that I read this month was Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, by Stephen Graham Jones, which I also gave 3 out of 5 stars. This story, I don't know how to explain why it's 3 out of 5 stars. You know, sometimes you read something and you're like, I was expecting to be obsessed with this because a lot of people whose opinions I really, really respect and often agree with loved this. And it's good. It's it's a novella too. It's a horror book following a group of friends and a mannequin and a prank gone wrong. I feel like for some reason this one is hard for me to talk about without spoiling anything. And I don't really know why I'm finding it hard to talk about without spoiling anything. There are a lot of aspects about this story that I really, really do like, that I really vibed with. Something about the execution just didn't hit right for me. I really did like I really like the concept in a horror or a thriller where you're not entirely sure if it's supernatural or someone's brain or like a person. Hello, loud car. I don't know if you can hear that. A person behind the whole thing. You know, that idea of like, is it supernatural? Is it paranormal? Is it just someone being evil and you like don't know until the end, or maybe you never know and you have to make that decision for yourself. I do really, really love that aspect. Something about this story just didn't hit right for me, and I'm not really sure why, and I wish I could give you more information about that. I do recommend it, and I do plan on picking up some of Stephen Graham Jones' other works, because I do, in like his writing style, I do really, really see the potential for me to fall in love. This specific story just wasn't what I need. It wasn't giving what I needed to be receiving. And the most recent book that I read was They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. So that's promising. And then promptly haven't picked up a book for another week and a half, so I really liked They Never Learn. I actually received this as an ARC before it came out and then just never got around to reading it. So I finally was like, hey, I should read that story that I was supposed to read and review like 2 years ago. I think it came out in 2020. I love a good revenge plot, and at the heart of this book, it's a revenge story. We are following 2 women, one a professor at a university who has a penchant for murdering abusive, rapey, shitty dudes, and a student at said university. This book, while I was not like the most surprised by most of the plot twists, there was one that for some reason I didn't see coming until like right before it happened, and then I was like, oh shit. And it was like well executed. I understand why people don't like this story, but I thought it was really fun, like a little bit campy, a little bit over the top, in a way that I really enjoyed. I talked about in the vlog that is coming out later this week. That should be up on Thursday. That should be up on Thursday. But the TikTok, I talk about it in the video, but the TikTok audio, it's like, yeah, I support women's rights, but I also support women's wrongs. That was just the vibe of the book. It was like a cathartic read. I liked it. 5 out of 5 stars. I will be picking up more Lane Fargo in the future. Alrighty. On to February reading plans. I have a month of videos planned out for the channel. I hope it goes well. I am currently reading a book and trying to get the ball rolling on a couple more. I have a video with like a secret TBR planned. One book of which I completed at the very end of 2021, so I need to read 2 more books for that video. And then I'm going to start a series where my best friend sent me a very lengthy list of book recommendations, and I want to do just a whole series where I read my best friend's book recommendations. Like, that's the whole thing. That's entirely self-indulgent, some of which are really popular titles, some of which are things that I would never pick up on my own, and I just want to test our reading against each other for funsies. Do you want to just know what the secret TBRs are? I mean, not like what the books are, but like what they're for. So I have been paying for the Book Riot tailored book recommendations, like mytbr.co book recommendation service since like August, and I planned to do like a quarterly video where I read, talked through all of the book recommendations that my bibliologist sent me, what I think about them, whether or not I think they were good recommendations, which is a different question than whether or not I like the book, because ultimately, like, it's not the bibliologist's fault if I don't like the book, if it hits all of the things that I ask for. You know, it's like a different thing. Those are like different things. And promptly filmed the intro and like start of that video, and then never read any of the books. And then of course we have my like November picks. It's quarterly, but it's like off. So mine are like August, November, February, like because of when I started it. So I am supposed to get my next set of books next week. The hope is that I can finish the first 2, get that video out this month, and then what I think I might do is I think I might do them out of order. I think I might do... Actually, you know, we'll see what my recommendations are. I'm just gonna vibe check it. Yeah, but I'm just rambling. Those are the things. I have 5 books on my TBR from TBR Book Riot. I have a million books on my TBR from Francie. I have 1 book on my that I'm currently reading on my TBR that just is from me, for me, because of me. I want to read it. And I started that yesterday, and I like it so far. I don't feel super, super obsessed, but I'm also like not mad at it. But yes, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you are feeling as cautiously optimistic as I am. I am happy to be back. I really am going to try very hard to keep making content, even if my reading isn't going super, super hot. So what that might look like is more about books content, some more recommendations, although I feel a little weird recommending books when I'm not reading. It might look like some more writing content. I'm not really sure going forward how we're going to be looking, but I do believe that we're going to break the reading slump, and when we break the reading slump, we'll be back to our normal, regularly scheduled programming. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Bye-bye. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you later this week. I'll see you on Thursday with my reading vlog for They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Spoiler alert, I loved it, which you now know. Sorry, team. I still think it'll be fun to go through and watch my reactions to that. I recommend the video. I'm glad I just got through a book and liked it. So, thank you guys. Goodbye. I'll see you in a few days. Bye, bye, bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.